Let's talk about turning your super weakness into your super strength. How to turn your super weakness into your super strength. So, one of the things that I have not liked about me for a long time is that I'm so sensitive. So, very, very, very sensitive. And I used to hate that word. And I used to then try to hide my sensitivity. So, here's how it used to show up when I was little. When something would happen when I was at school and the teacher would get upset and would take away recess for all of us, and I thought it was unfair, then I would cry, and then the teacher would feel bad and give us recess back. And some of the kids would be thankful, like, hey, April cried, we got recess back. Thank you. So I'm like, no, I feel like an idiot. This is terrible. This is all the attention's on me that I be self-conscious. I hate it. I wish I could stop. I wish I could just be tough about this. I wish I didn't care so much. All the things. I saw my sensitivity as my weakness. So as I got to be a teenager, I got smart, or so I thought. And I'm like, well, we'll just stop being so sensitive. And so I would force myself to ignore my sensitivity and push through and deny that it's there. And the way it really looked like was I just leaned way into the logical side of my brain instead of the emotional side of me. And so if it had anything to do with emotions, then I was just like, oh, that's stupid. Put that aside, ignore that, and pay attention to if it's logical, like this is the reason it should be. And it I got a lot of exercise from the logic side of my brain during those years. In fact, in fact, still to this day, I enjoy doing proofs and proving logic. And it's where I tend to flee when I get a little bit too sensitive. Okay, why am I telling you all this? Why does it even matter? Because I think that we all have this tendency to look at parts of us and say, I don't like that. And therefore, I need to fix it. It's a flaw. Let's fix it. Let's ignore it. Let's do the opposite of it. And so, what I saw as a weakness, and I'll be honest, this very real tendency of me to be sensitive has tripped me up the entire year this year. It's unbelievable, you guys. So, about this time, well, I guess about the end of January of 2023, we moved from Missouri to Florida. And I like setting up a new house and the things that come with it. But sometimes I genuinely forget how I am to change. So we're changing temperatures, we're changing environments, we're changing churches and friend circles, and my husband's changing careers. And I spent half of the year pretty much denying that change is affecting me. Not even real. I'm just like, why am I so upset? To the other half of the year, just trying to like manage and muggle and coach my way through it. And so I would classify 2023 as a messy year for April. And I don't know how you would classify 2023, but this episode should come out on, I believe, December 26th or 27th. And I always like to use the end of the year to like reflect over this year and look forward towards the next year. What would I do? What would I do differently? What worked? What didn't work? What would I do differently? I always like to ask those questions. And I realized was, man, this has just been exhausting. And the reason it's been exhausting is because I have been expecting a lot out of me. So, what's the answer? My super weakness. How to turn your super weakness into your super strength. Well, number one, stop looking at it as a weakness. Just look at it as a thing. So I'm reminded about this verse. It's in 2 Corinthians 12, 8 through 10. It's talking about Paul, and he has what he considers a thorn in the flesh. And it says, "For this thing I besought the Lord thrice that it might depart from me." I love the King James Version, you guys. So if you don't, read in a different version, but I like the language. And he said unto me, "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." And then Paul says, "Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong." Turn your super weakness into your super strength. There is something about you that is not jiving with the situation, with the circumstance that you may be in right now. So, for example, my sensitive nature was not jiving. I, I don't know what a more modern term would be than jive. My sensitive nature was not jiving with so much change. Like it goes against, if I had my rathers, my sensitive nature would have been like, no, I don't want to be this uncomfortable. That's basically what it is. I don't want, all of this is making me uncomfortable. And that's why I hate it when clients come to me and they say, "I know I just need to get over it. No, I just need to get over it." And I'm like, no, beating yourself to get over something is not how we actually get over it. So acknowledge it. My sensitive nature is struggling with this much change in this period of time. Acknowledge it. That's what Paul's doing. Hey, I've got a weakness. God, I think it's holding me back. I'm going to pray for it. I'm going to pray that you will get it out of the way so I can get on with doing all the work that I had planned to do for you. And God's answer is no, no. Why? Why in the world would God say no to such what seems like a reasonable request? God, help me get over this so I can do more for you. And it's because God isn't always so concerned with all that we plan to do for him. God's concerned about us. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said? God is not always concerned with what it is that we have planned to get done for him. God is concerned about us. And so that's why God says to Paul, "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." Okay? When Paul doesn't need God's help, then Paul doesn't need or get to experience God's grace. And what if we just sat for a minute and realized that at the end of the day, maybe the best thing in the world that we ever get a chance to experience is the grace of God, his unearned goodness towards us. Maybe the best thing in the world that can happen is that we stop trying to earn all the things and we just sit down and receive something. Receive some goodness. So, how to turn your super weakness into your super strength? Acknowledge it, stop for a second, and receive some grace. So, for me, I realized that my super weakness of being sensitive, therefore, I experience large amounts of discomfort in new situations and lots of change around new people, all those things. When I just sat with it and kind of believe, yeah, hey, God's grace is sufficient for this too, I realized I can sit with discomfort. I've had a lot of practice sitting with discomfort. And the more that I recognize I can sit with this discomfort, I can be with discomfort. I don't have to numb it away. with drugs, with alcohol. Sometimes I do. Sometimes with, well, not drugs or alcohol, but with Netflix. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, brain, shut it down. Let's watch some mindless TV for a while. But but there are other times when I can just say, sit and be like, yeah, I'm feeling deeply discomfortable. And also breathe through it. And also know that this too will pass. This is a feeling. It's going to pass. I can sit through it and see what else comes up. Okay, my ability to handle discomfort. And the only reason I feel a lot of discomfort is because I have a sensitive nature that my brain kind of freaks out at new things a lot, a lot, a lot. My ability to handle the discomfort has now become one of the super strengths of my life. And I know that I can do difficult things. One of the things that that kind of surprises me that I've gotten very, very good at doing is having difficult conversations with people. Like, for example, if a client, somebody's coming to me, I remember it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I thought there is no way in the world I know how to like sign people up for coaching, to even talk to them about money. I mean, I was raised, you don't talk about money. You shouldn't. It is an impolite subject. And so you didn't even talk about it. And I had to practice. So I had to sit with the discomfort because I realized my potential clients are uncomfortable talking about money too. And so if we none of us ever talk about money, none of us are ever going to solve the problems that lack of money has. We're not going to, if I'm uncomfortable and they're uncomfortable, we're not going to talk about it. And then we're just not going to resolve this. And so, because I'd had practice sitting with discomfort, I was able to sit with the discomfort of having these conversations. And then it was kind of funny when somebody says on the other side, wow, it's really easy to talk to you about this. I thought you'd be offended if I talked to you about how my thoughts about your prices and how I thought they might be too high and I was uncomfortable. And it's like, that's my job. It's my job to sit with discomfort. It's my job to be okay with having difficult conversations with you because how else are you going to be able to talk those things out? Another thing, I've had the situation where clients have discussed intimacy details because they need to talk about it. And there had been a time in my life when I'm like, I wouldn't want to talk about these things myself. And I understand that it's uncomfortable. But now I know, but we can just sit with the discomfort. We can sit with, hey, it's awkward, isn't it, to talk about this? Yeah. Yeah, it's awkward. Okay. Let's still go ahead and do it. Let's say what needs to be said so we can figure it out, so we can find out what's really there, so we can get to the heart of the problem. Look, when you see your super weakness as an opportunity for growth, then that becomes your super strength. That is literally what Paul is saying. I have a weakness. It is an opportunity for growth. It is an opportunity for not only growth, but it is an opportunity to receive more grace from God. That's even better. My weakness is either an opportunity for growth or an opportunity for more grace from God. What if there's just no downside to this? What if there is no downside to walking by faith, to living the Christian life? Because even my weaknesses, God has this wonderful, beautiful perspective on them. Yeah, I gave that to you so you could experience more grace or so you could grow more. I want to hit my microphone. Turn your super weakness into your super strength by seeing that there's no downside to this. It is either an opportunity for growth or it is an opportunity for grace to experience God's goodness. So it just keeps on kind of boiling back to what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I don't know why, but that phrase just cracks me up every single time. Maybe because I have felt like this is going to kill me so many times. But I'm like, oh, I was wrong. I lived through it. Listen, if you're like me and you've thought many times, I'm too sensitive. People are driving me crazy. I don't know how to handle this. Noises bother me, smells bother me, too much bright sunshine bothers me. Have a little patience with yourself. Okay. Sit with the discomfort. See, we kind of think what makes it a weakness is when we take a perceived flaw of ourselves and we think the whole world needs to change to make room for that because I can't handle it. And if we can just get to the realization that no, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's a feeling and we can handle any feeling because a feeling is just a vibration in our body. And the better that we get at handling feelings, the more ability that we have to grow, the more ability that we have to live out life instead of hide from life, shrink from life. So when you see something in yourself that maybe you're struggling to like, calling it a weakness, you're calling it a thorn in the flesh, something that's holding you back, holding you back. It's this man you gave me. It's these kids you gave me. It's this boss you gave me. No, people are not your thorns in the flesh. It's this way that you made me, is basically what we're saying. God, you made me wrong. You got the design wrong. Or I picked up these bad habits because you put me in an environment and I've got these coping mechanisms that are messing with me. Or something happened and it just shouldn't have happened. And now it's messed up my life. Thorn in the flesh. It's really getting to me. Remember, we've got the idea that life should look this way. Like if I didn't have this, then I could do this, this, and the other. And maybe that's not the actual goal. God is more concerned about you than about your goals. Maybe this is an opportunity for growth, or maybe this is an opportunity for grace. So turn your super weakness into your super strength, either by growing or by literally inviting more grace into your life. All right. I hope this has helped. I hope that your 2023, that you'll take the time to look back on it and look at some lessons that maybe you can pull from your own life. I hope you have big, big plans for 2024, however you just decide what those are. I'm going to be talking in 2024 a lot more about how we as Christians need to let go of the fear of living a big life and how we can be bolder and stronger in our faith. In fact, I've been talking about how to let go of the fear of living a big life without losing our faith. Because I think that we think that success might come at the price of losing, not being spiritually successful. And I think that the Bible teaches that we as Christians should expect and strive for and aim for good success. We'll have good success, as in success that does not come at the expense of success in another area of our life. So, anyway, that's going to be kind of maybe the overarching theme for 2024. So, stick around if you're interested in hearing that. Subscribe if you don't want to miss an episode. Share if you find it helpful. And comment or message me if there's a topic that you would like to hear. But until next year, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye.